Shall we? The metals! Let's get to the goddamn metals. Gold is unchanged today, folks. Gold is unchanged. Closing out gold at $1,239.70 per troy ounce of gold. Silver is down a penny, a percentage decrease of 0.04%, closing out silver at $15.81 per troy ounce of silver. We've got copper down today, it's up. Copper is up 0.38%. Platinum is up 0.27%. Let's go ahead and get to agriculture, shall we? And remember, these tariffs were supposed to bring down the cost of commodities, huh? What happened? I'll tell you what happened. We don't need these assholes that are thinking that they're going to have a trade war with America, all right? I mean, did you hear that China and its goddamn economy is floundering right now because they want to play rough, they want to play economic games with America? And what did I tell each and every one of you for the past month? That China has more to lose in a trade war than the United States, all right? I mean, we got a $600 billion annual trade deficit with China. If they want to play economic trade war, how are they going to supplement the $600 billion that usually comes from us going to them? How are they going to supplement that? They can't. And that's why their economy is going down the tubes. Their stock market's going down the tubes. I'm telling you, hey, China, take the fucking chopsticks out of your ass and realize that you're going to have to make a deal with America. If you don't, you're going to starve your own fucking people like it was the goddamn Cultural Revolution of Mao Zedong. You son of a bitch. I'm not joking. And that goes for the EU, that goes for those cucks in Canada, that goes for Mexico, and anybody else that wants to start a trade war with America. Just like the president said, we're not the stupid country anymore, folks. We're not the stupid fucking country anymore. We are economically and politically awake, and us Americans are not going to go back to fucking sleep. Let's go ahead and get to grain, shall we? Corn is up 1.06% increase. Wheat is up 0.41% increase. Oats is down 0.32% decrease. Rough rice is down 0.25% decrease. Soybean is up 0.83% increase. Soybean oil is up 0.18% increase. And canola is down 0.21%. Let's get to soft, shall we? Cocoa. Again, cocoa is down, folks. It looks like Ebola. It looks like it's gotten a little bit, not as contagious. And I think the market is factoring in that into consideration because cocoa, the base for chocolate, is down 4.26% decrease on the day. Good God. Coffee is up 0.36%. Sugar is up 1.64%. Orange juice is up 1.10%. Cotton is down 0.08%. Lumber is down 0.21%. Rubber is down 0.64%. And ethanol is up 0.36% increase. Let's get to livestock, shall we? Let's get to live cattle. Live cattle is up 1.19% increase on the day. Cattle feeder is up 1.09%. And folks, lean hogs, that's the only thing that's hurting because them Chinese, they love pig, boy. Oh, they love that pig, and that's one of the commodities that are being hit by the Chinese tariff. I guess they're not going to eat their pork, but you know what? It doesn't matter. All the other commodities are doing pretty good. Lean hog is down 2.35% decrease, and that, my friends, is the markets for your ass, all right? All right, let me go ahead and take a swig of this tea here. Actually, I'm drinking tea. Once again, 2 weeks, no alcohol. I'm doing pretty well. Like I said, I'll be back, all right? I'll be back to drinking. Pretty good stuff. Sorry about that, folks. Now that we've gotten a little bit over the time here, let's just go right into talking about the subject matter of today's news cycle. And I'm talking about the president meeting with Putin. Now, folks, I told the Inner Circle, I also told the True Capitalist Radio chat room that I wasn't expecting much out of this particular meeting, and nothing came out of it. Nothing came out of it. It was more of a diplomatic meeting to mend fences than it was to, put anything on paper, to sign any kind of agreement, anything of that capacity. Now, for whatever reason, the people in the United States establishment political arena, and I'm talking both Democrats and Republicans, whether they're in the swamp or in the media, have been criticizing the president because of this summit. And the reason that, he's triggered the media and the establishment is because POTUS did not acknowledge that the Russians hacked the DNC. And the reason that the president is refusing to acknowledge that it was exclusively Russia that hacked the Democrats' emails, the reason that he's doing that is because he brought up, much like I brought up on Friday, much like I tweeted this weekend, how the hell does the DOJ and Robert Mueller know that these little 12 Russians that were indicted were the actual people hacking the DNC servers when the servers weren't even inspected by the FBI, folks? This is actually factual. I have a Wired Magazine 2017 article on my Gab, and if anybody knows anything about technology, it's Wired, okay? Wired Technology, Wired Magazine. The Democrats refused the FBI's investigation into their servers. They refused to allow FBI investigators access to their hacked servers. What the Democrats did was send their servers to some outside, privatized, third-party computer forensics team, and whatever it was that they culminated out of their investigation was forwarded to the FBI. The FBI did not prove, or they did not culminate the information claiming the indictment that was introduced on Friday by the Department of Justice. Okay? And unless we forget that the Department of Justice claims that how they were able to obtain the information from the DNC was through spear phishing. I've never heard of spear phishing, but I've heard of phishing before, which is what dumbass Rosenstein was describing during his stupid press conference, meaning that somebody spoofs an email and convinces you to click a link or something via email, and then once you click a link, you either infect yourself with a Trojan horse, giving somebody access to your computer or giving somebody access to your passwords, whatever the case might be. And I'm going to be, listen, I'm not going to try to say that I had anything to do with any of that stuff, but I can assure you, just like I assured you in 2016, that the Russians had nothing to do with obtaining the Democrats, the Democratic Party's emails. I mean, let's be honest, folks. It was Seth Rich, like I had always said. The unfortunate part about it is that we're never going to know who the culprits were on who killed Seth Rich and why Seth Rich was killed to begin with. And we've already gotten confirmation from a couple of people that Seth Rich did pass information along to a couple of operatives in British intelligence. So we know Seth Rich was moving information. And as I stated back in June of 2016, y'all remember that? June of 2016, I said that Seth Rich, before anybody even came out with it, I said that Seth Rich was the supplier of the DNC leaks, the DNC information. 2 weeks later, after I announced that it was Seth Rich that supplied WikiLeaks with the information of the DNC, all the emails, all the data, Julian Assange was interviewed by a Dutch television show where he validated that it was Seth Rich that supplied the information. So, once again, folks, I'm just saying that if the DOJ and the FBI and Robert Mueller are going to claim that these 12 Russians that are indicted were the perpetrators of the Democratic hacks, that is a complete and utter lie. And not only that, I'd like to see the computer forensic evidence that implicates these Russians. And I guarantee you that the computer forensics investigation wasn't FBI, it wasn't anybody government related who did the investigation. It was whoever sent the DNC servers to this private forensic computer analysis lab, who in turn gave those findings to the FBI. And that's why today, when questioned about whether or not Russia meddled into the elections, the president was being rather coy because, first of all, he didn't want to cause an international incident by confronting fucking Putin right in front of everybody in the media. Secondly, Putin said that he didn't do anything, which, I mean, let's be honest, whether he did or didn't do it, it really doesn't matter. Because, to be honest with you, I don't think that Russia had as much influence over the election as the fucking mainstream, lamestream media is trying to claim. Thirdly, I'm glad that the president brought up on that he wants the server. He wants the servers that were never investigated by the FBI. He wants those servers investigated. Because those computer forensic private guys that the DNC sent their servers to could set up anything and claim that, oh, yeah, it was a bunch of Russians phishing. You know, they were email phishing. Yeah, here it is. We've got an IP address. And you see, just because you can trace back something to an IP address doesn't mean that whoever is at that IP address is the culprit. All right? I mean, I could hack you from an IP address in Iceland right now. Doesn't mean that the people hacking are from Iceland. All right? I mean, it's just your proxy, VPN, virtual machine, however method you use to be able to kind of mask your particular location on the internet, you're going to do it. So you've got both media establishment, the media and the political establishment triggered. Not just the Democrats, but the GOP. All right, the GOP's coming out and saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe that Trump made Putin do that. He bowed to Putin. It's a disgrace. He should have confronted Putin on how he meddled into our elections. He should have confronted Putin on how he meddled into our elections. He didn't meddle into the elections, and even if he did, which, you know, I think that maybe there was some Russian influence, it had nothing to do with getting people out to vote for Trump. I mean, you understand that. Even if they did disseminate information that made people go out and vote, they didn't put a gun to people's heads. You know, hey, Democrats, they didn't do what the Kennedys did back in fucking 1960 when Joe Kennedy, John F. Kennedy's father, made a fucking deal with Sam Giancana, the head of the Chicago mob, to give fucking Illinois to fucking John F. Kennedy. Why don't we talk about that? Yeah, y'all didn't know that shit? Yeah, Joe Kennedy, the father of John F. Kennedy, hooked a deal with Sam Giancana, who was the head of the Chicago mob at the time, to rig the election so that John F. Kennedy could win Illinois. And guess what? In the 1960 election between John F. Kennedy and Richard Nixon, guess what state it came down to? Guess what state it all came down to? Illinois. It all came down to Illinois. Huh? I mean, give me a fucking break, man. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, only an outsider like Trump can yank out the contradictions of this Washington, D.C. swamp. And that's why a lot of these Washington, D.C. swamp assholes are not running for re-election. One I'd like to talk about is Trey fucking Gowdy. I fucking hate this dull-hair sporting, hatchet-faced bastard, man. And what's up with Trey Gowdy anyway? He looks like a very strange person. It's as if he's got an egg-shaped head. He doesn't know how to comb his hair. You know, he's got a weird-looking face. You know what I mean? He talks like he's, you know, talking from a goddamn dolphin blowhole that he calls a mouth. I mean, what is this guy? The reason I bring up Trey Gowdy, folks, is because, as I've been saying, I've been criticizing Trey Gowdy for months. He's been saying, oh, we don't need an end to the Robert Mueller investigation. No, we need the Robert Mueller investigation to keep going. Well, today, he was asked what the president should say when it comes to meeting with Putin. Well, you know what the president should say is where he could pick up the 12 Russians that were indicted this past Friday from the Department of Justice. And then they asked him, do you think that Rod Rosenstein should be impeached? As a matter of fact, the GOP is moving to impeach him as we speak. We're going to talk about that in a second. But when Trey Gowdy was asked that, he said, I don't think Rod Rosenstein should be impeached. No, I think that Rod Rosenstein should be doing his job. I mean, do you understand how much of a fucking contradiction Trey Gowdy is, man? He's your typical quintessential bureaucratic scumbag that shouldn't be fucking trusted. He's your quintessential bureaucratic scumbag that should never be elected and that should have their feet put to the fucking fire. And I don't think it's a coincidence that this dumbass Trey Gowdy, this doll hair sporting bastard, is not running for re-election. I wonder what fucking 10-year-old boy is in this idiot's closet. Stupid fucking asshole. I hate fucking Trey Gowdy. Everybody gives Trey Gowdy some fucking props because he talks loud and he talks like some fucking southern redneck. Yeah, great. Big fucking deal. All right? He botched. All right? Fucking Trey Gowdy single-handedly botched the Benghazi hearings and allowed Hillary Rotten Clinton to get away with murder because of his fucking incompetence and his insistence on putting himself in a goddamn fucking camera. I'm sick of Trey Gowdy, man. I'm sick of this asshole. You got all these establishment Republicans talking garbage about the president as if the president did something bad. The president didn't do shit, you morons. All he did was meet with Putin. There's no commitments. There's no signings. There was nothing committed. I mean, do you all understand? It was a nothing burger. It was a nothing burger of a summit. Nothing came out of it outside of loosening any kind of tensions that there may be with the two countries. That's it. I mean, I can't believe that I'm hearing the media and these political establishment assholes disrespect my president as if he committed treason or something just because he was having diplomacy with another head of state. There was nothing committed, you stupid, dumb idiots. All right, he didn't sign anything with Putin. All right, I mean, they just talk. That's it. I mean, folks, they didn't announce anything. They didn't announce some joint program to do anything. They didn't announce shit. All Putin did was suggest that if, they want to do a dual investigation under a certain treaty that was signed in, I think, 1999 for criminal investigation. Now, I want to be honest with you, folks. It may have been 97, 98, that treaty. I forgot. It was in the 90s that the Russians and the United States, we kind of had some kind of agreement to share law enforcement tactics and investigative work with each other. And the reason it was, believe it or not, this treaty was caused by the infamous Citizen X. All right. Now, for you folks that are unaware, this is a badass movie that was made by HBO when HBO made fucking movies that weren't leftist in nature. This is a movie called Citizen X about a serial killer in Russia that none of these Russians could catch, nor did the bureaucratic Politburo of the communist government of Russia want to know that exists. In the perfect communist society of Russia, there are no serial killers, so they didn't want to admit that there was a serial killer in their midst. So it took a cooperation between the United States and FBI the Russians and the FBI in an attempt to try to take this guy down. And it's a good movie. I strongly advise it. Citizen X. Citizen X. Great movie. And it's about this treaty that Putin invoked in an attempt to try to, suggest. They didn't agree. Donald Trump didn't say, yeah, we're both going to investigate the Russia-Trump connection. He didn't say that. Putin suggested it, and that was it. It was just a suggestion. You fucking idiots need to realize that actions speak louder than words, okay? Actions speak louder than words. There's a big difference in what Trump says and what he does, okay? Because what he does means more than what he says. And everything that he has passed into law has been pro-America. Every policy he has enacted has been pro-America and to make America great again. I hate to use his campaign slogan, but it's the absolute fact. Every policy that this man has made has bettered this country. I don't understand why the left continues to piss and moan when we have the lowest unemployment for blacks and Mexicans in history. We've got the lowest unemployment for women in 60 years. We've got the lowest unemployment in general in over 20 years. What the hell is the Democrats and the leftists' problem? Even Wall Street believes in Trump. Why do you think that we're still at 25,000 level Dow Jones Industrial? They believe in Trump. And not to mention the great economic data that's culminating every time we hear good news about the American economy is also fueling that optimism in Wall Street. And let me tell you, Wall Street, they're not stupid. They're not going to just throw their money in at anything just because. These people are going to throw their money in when they have certainty that they're going to make a profit, or at least a perception of certainty. They don't just throw their money in blind. These, people on Wall Street don't believe in luck, folks. Always remember, they don't believe in luck. And you cannot deny the facts, I should say. You cannot deny the facts that this is a great economy. And aside from the economy getting better, we are respected again in the international community. We're no longer known as bitches. Because that's what these so-called allies thought we were. These allies are just like a quintessential, quote, friend in America. You know how when you get a friend in America, you're either one of two sides. You're either the person that is mooching and is the dependent side, or you're the person condoning and the giving side. Now, it could be anything that you're giving. You could be giving people money. You could be giving people rides to work. You could be giving people food. You could be giving anything that you're giving away, that you're taking a loss and giving to your so-called friend because you're friends. That's how friendships work in America. You're either the dependent or you're the person condoning the dependent. And at some point, the person that's condoning the dependent friend comes to a realization and says, look, I can't take you to work anymore, or I can't give you money anymore. I can't do this for you anymore. I just can't do it. Out of my schedule, I got to think about me. I can't do it anymore. Once that happens, that's the end of the friendship. The dependent side goes, what? You used to always give me money, man. We're supposed to be friends. I need that money. I'm counting on that money. You always gave me money, man. Well, fuck you if you're not going to give me money, man. What kind of friend are you? Fuck you, man. That's how the EU is. That's how China is. That's how Canada is right now when it comes to these tariff and trade wars, for Christ's sake. And these are supposed to be our allies. And, Trump is not trying to make these trade deals even. He's just asking for these people that we have an abundant amount of deficit on an annual basis in trade deficits. We're just asking them to kind of say, hey, look, hey, China, we send you $600 billion in trade deficits each year. How about we kind of take $200 billion off of that? How about we take $250 billion off of that? That would be tremendous. And how do you take $250 billion off of that? buying our fucking products, allowing our fucking companies in America to penetrate your billion population China market. But of course, they don't do that. I mean, just like the president says, anything that you bring into the Chinese market, they're going to tariff your ass 25%. And not to mention, they have purposely debased their currency to make it impossible for any American company to compete in China. So, here we are, we're sending $600 billion to China and getting nothing but 2-bit bullshit electronics that fucking break in 6 months. All right? I mean, that's all Trump is asking for. He's not asking for an even keel trade deal. I mean, like the EU. I think the EU, we have a deficit on an annual basis of $170 billion. I mean, it would be nice if the EU could take off about 30 or 40 of that billion. We're not asking to make everything even. I mean, we're just asking to be like, hey, look, man, we've been supplying you idiots for money for a long time. We've had a trade deficit with you for over 30, 40 years. It's time to kind of just kind of roll some of it back. How about that, EU, our ally? How about rolling some of that back, about 20, 30 billion? How about that? No, they don't want to do it. As a matter of fact, they're waving their fingers in our faces saying that we can't do it. That's illegal. That's illegal, America. You don't do nothing. You don't renegotiate trade deal. We own you, America. Yeah, fuck you. How about that? You don't own shit. I'm talking to all you Chinese, you Canadians, the fucking Mexico, fucking EU. We don't need you. Do you understand? Let's just say worst case scenario, these idiots they want to play hardball and they don't want to negotiate. Well, then we won't just send them money anymore. How about that? And that's why Ron Paul recently just said that the mother of all crashes is about to happen. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, it ain't going to happen to America. It's going to happen across the world. And I'm going to call this right now. If these idiot countries don't play ball with the United States here in the next 6 months, you're going to start seeing a global recession of proportions that we've never seen before in our lives. Because these morons in the EU, China, Canada, and Mexico, they don't want to renegotiate trade deals. They don't want to play ball. Well, we're not going to spend money with these people. We're not going to spend money with these people. And as I stated time and time again, how are they going to supplement those billions? How is China going to supplement $600 billion that ain't going into their fucking economy anymore? How is the EU going to supplement $170 billion that isn't going in their economy anymore? They can't. They can't. So they're screwing themselves, and these countries are screwing their fucking people. And let me tell you, if you live in these countries, if you live in China, Canada, Mexico, or any of the EU nation states, you better call these pieces of garbage politicians or parliamentary members or whoever's in charge of your goddamn pissing ground of a country, and you better tell them to stop putting your life, because they're putting your lives on the line by trying to play a little trade tariff war with the United States. Because I'm telling you, people are going to starve to death. If you don't believe me, mark these words. If China, EU, and these other people, if they want to play a trade war with us, their people are going to starve to death, and they've got nobody to blame but their incompetent piece of shit leadership. I'm just saying. Anyway, folks, we are now in the third and final hour, all right? The third and final hour of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me. Before we get started on anything else, I'd like to remind everybody to please spread this show link around like wildfire and let everybody know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house. And we are live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And I love being independent now! All right, type this in your browser right now, all right? Ghost.Report. All right, Ghost.Report. Add that to your bookmarks. Add that to your favorites. It's the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. It's got all the archives. It's got all the live streams. It's got everything. So make sure to bookmark it, add it to your favorites, and spread it around like wildfire. And, of course, if you have not done so, please follow me on my only social media representation on the Internet today, and that's on Gab. That's at Gab. All right, type in your browser right now. I want everybody who's listening to my voice right now to get a goddamn Gab account. It's free. It's the last bastion of freedom of speech on the Internet today. Get yourself a Gab account, baby. All right? Type in your browser right now, gab.ai. gab.ai, and you can follow me on that social media under the name Politics Ghost, all right? All one word, no underscores, Politics Ghost is the name to follow. And once again, folks, this week will be the last week we are going to be selling the yours truly autograph, the Ghost autograph. Go ahead and go to my Gab account right now, Politics Ghost. Go to my Gab account and click the link on the first post that states how to purchase a Ghost autograph. Okay? Listen to the video. It'll give you the instructions how to purchase a Ghost autograph. And remember, by purchasing a Ghost autograph, not only are you supporting the show, man, which I really appreciate, because remember, yours truly ain't making dick on this broadcast anymore. I went from making $4,000 a month on Blog Talk Radio and whatever else I sold in merch to nothing. But I don't give a shit. I'm going to keep on trucking. I'm not going to allow the establishment and corporate fucking fascists to stop me. I will not be stopped. I am the underground. You understand that? If you're listening to the sound of my voice, you're listening to the political underground. That's why they're trying to stop me. That's why they're trying to censor me. You understand that? I am the underground. You're goddamn right. Once again, go to my Gab account right now, Politics Ghost, and hit the first post that states how to purchase a Ghost autograph. Click the link. Click the actual link. Listen, and it'll give you the instructions on how to purchase a Ghost autograph, and purchase one, folks. It'll be the last week. If you don't get one this week, you ain't getting one at all. Just saying. Just saying. And by the way, if you want to chill with me in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, if you're not in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, baby, you're missing all kinds of internet tomfoolery. You would have been there listening when we doxed QN and we called his grandma. All right? Grandma put him on the phone and he didn't know. This idiot didn't know whether to shit or get off the pot. I'm telling you, we do all kinds of internet tomfoolery in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, aside from also talking politics, crypto, international relations, social criticism, etc. Come on down, baby. Be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room. I will be in the chat room later on tonight, so come kick back with us, baby. Come kick back with us, all right? I mean, it's as simple as that. Come kick back with us, all right? Go to Politics Ghost, all one word, no underscores, and click the subscribe button for premium content. Click the subscribe button for premium content, and once you do, private message me on Gab and let me know your Discord chat name. It's as simple as that, all right? As simple as that. Let me go ahead and take a swig of some more tea here. Some pretty good stuff here. Anyway, we were talking about how the president meeting with Vladimir Putin has triggered the mainstream media. It has triggered both sides of the political persuasion, and I don't understand why. Nothing culminated from this meeting. I mean, this meeting was intended to mend fences and to prevent conflict. I mean, nothing was culminated here. I don't understand why people are bitching and moaning. And like the president said, just like I want to see the servers. I want the Democratic servers to be investigated by the federal government, not by some outside private entity that gives the results to the feds. I mean, I guarantee you that's what's the basis of this recent indictment that we saw on Friday announced by fucking Rod Rosenstein. And by the way, let's talk a little bit about Rod Rosenstein, shall we? The GOP Freedom Caucus and other Republicans, okay? And other Republicans are moving to impeach Rod Rosenstein, okay? Now, the reason they're moving to impeach Rod Rosenstein, and let's be honest, folks, this guy is a crooked piece of trash. He is a crooked, bureaucratic, deep state piece of weaselly crap. I mean, did you see him smirk and smile just like Peter Strzok did during his testimony, for Christ's sake? I mean, there was a great meme that I reposted from the Poll News Network. What's going on to the Poll News Network? But it's a great meme of Rod Rosenstein standing there and a bunch of, like, text boxes basically highlighting the contradictions of the DOJ and their investigation into Russia-Trump collusion, okay? And many of these people are all a bunch of Obama deep state holdovers. The first text box says, and this is a great one, if you want to check it out, go to my Gab account right now, scroll down, and you'll see the Rod Rosenstein meme reposted by the Poll News Network. But the first box says, do you remember a guy named Charlie Tree? He owned a Chinese restaurant that funneled millions of dollars from the Chinese People's Liberation Army to Bill Clinton's campaign. Wasn't that meddling? And on the side of Rosenstein, he goes, so moving along. The next box says, how do you know these Russian officers hacked the DNC since no Democrat has allowed the FBI to inspect their hardware? Oh, I said that fucking on Friday, for Christ's sake. Look, I'm lucky that Poll still listens to the True Capitalist Radio. I'm telling you, this is the official Poll radio. I'm telling you this right now. Just ask anybody who's on Poll. Hey, do you know Ghost True Capitalist Radio? They're going to be like, yeah, I know Ghost from True Capitalist Radio. He is the underground! The next text box says, why is an unqualified special counsel with 13 Democratic lawyers doing the job of the FBI and the CIA counterintelligence? That's a very, very good question. Why is Robert Mueller and his unqualified special counsel of 13 Democratic lawyers doing the job of the FBI and the CIA counterintelligence? Very interesting. The next box says, in the 98 years of Russian meddling into our elections, have we ever indicted a Russian intelligence officer? Why now? No, we have never indicted a Russian intelligence officer. Typically, what would happen, like let's say we found a Russian spy in our outfit, in, you know, whether it's FBI or somebody trying to spy for Russia, we capture them and traditionally trade them for our spies. I mean, that's notorious. It's notorious that we trade spies all the time. Hence why we've never indicted a Russian intelligence officer. I mean, Jesus Christ, people are so fucking stupid. The next box. Don't we meddle in the Russian elections? Yes, we certainly did. Didn't Hillary personally campaign against Putin as Secretary of State? Yes, she did. Yes, she did. And the last box says, haven't the Russians meddled in our elections since 1920? Of course they have. And what is meddling? Trying to influence the electorate, all right? And when you're trying to influence the electorate, I don't understand where the collusion is. It'd be one thing if there was any proof that Donald Trump knew that the Russian intelligence or Russian hackers or whatever were hacking into the actual electoral computer databases and either taking out Democratic votes or putting in votes for Trump, but there is no such thing. There is no such thing. I mean, that's why it went from Russian hacking to Russian meddling. I mean, you have to understand the legalese language of this. That's why it went from Russian hacking to Russian meddling. They went from hacking, now they're just meddling. They just meddled in our election. They meddled in our election. Jesus Christ. Anyway, despite all this, folks, despite all the negative press, despite the slanderous and libelous lies by the mainstream media, Our president, President Donald Trump's approval rating is still 45%. And that is liberal Rasmussen poll. That is a liberal Rasmussen poll, so that should tell you something. But once again, GOP Freedom Caucus and other Republicans are moving to impeach Rod Rosenstein. But of course, you've got some people like Trey Gowdy who don't want to impeach the man, who think that Rod Rosenstein is I don't know, blind justice, when we all know he isn't. There should have never been a special counsel, especially involving the corrupt Robert Mueller as the head of it. There should have never been a special counsel in relation to this goddamn Russia-Trump shit, because there was no collusion. It's been over a year. $20 million. Over $20 million has been spent by Robert Mueller and his special counsel, and not one shred of Russia-Trump collusion evidence. It's about time that Robert Mueller either be disbanded or he himself needs to be investigated. I personally believe that Robert Mueller should be investigated. I mean, I think that he has a little bit of responsibility for the 9/11 attacks. I mean, he admitted it himself. He admitted it himself. Look on my blog right now, Ghost.Report, and scroll down until you see the fat jowled face of Robert Mueller. Click that damn article. I link the 2002 CBS interview with Robert Mueller where he admits he fucked up. Where Robert Mueller admits he fucked up as the director of the FBI in relation to preventing the 9/11 attacks. And has he ever been held accountable? Has he been ever accountable for anything? For anything! Has he been accountable for anything? No! He was the FBI director when the Obama administration and Hillary Clinton thought it was okay to sell Russia 70% of our uranium. Everything was okay then. How come it's not okay now? Because I'm telling you folks, you know what this all comes down to? You know who is really colluding with the Russians? The Democrats. The Democrats were colluding with Russia. And you know where the proof is? I mean, just one shred of proof. I'm sure if you do an extensive investigation, I should say, you probably find all bunch of links. But the Russian dossier is the link in which the Democratic Party colluded with Russia. Because, folks, I mean, it was admitted by Hillary Clinton that she funded the dossier, which meant she colluded with actual Russians to get dirt on her opponent. How come Robert Mueller isn't investigating that shit? I'm telling you, just like the president said, this whole thing is rigged, folks. It's fucking rigged. And if none of these bastards end up going to prison, and I'm talking Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, Bruce and Nellie Orr, James Comey, Rod Rosenstein, Robert Mueller, if none of these people go to jail for this grand conspiracy, because it was a conspiracy, folks. This was an attempt by the deep state to remove a duly elected president. I mean, the deep state was trying to supersede the will of the American people. That's exactly what they were doing in this conspiracy. They were superseding the will of the American people because they were trying to play kingmaker. If none of these people go to prison, then there is no fucking justice. Do you understand me? If none of these assholes involved in this goddamn conspiracy go to prison, then there is no justice in America. Good God. Anyway, let me continue going, folks. All right, let me move on. I want to talk about this Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. You know, I'm the girl from the Bronx, man. I'm the girl from the Bronx, bitch. You know, the socialist broad from New York that unseated Joe Crowley, the 9-term incumbent for the Democratic Party. She beat him in the primary. Now Joe Crowley, like typical Democrat leftist style, is going to run as an independent. He's like, I'm not letting this Puerto Rican piece of trash beat me. All right, I'm not. Hey, if I can't have that seat, no one is. And by the way, have y'all heard Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez being interviewed? She sounds like your quintessential idiotic, airheaded millennial that doesn't know shit from Shinola. She doesn't know shit from Shinola. All right, I mean, she was recently on a show called The Firing Line, okay? She was being interviewed by The Firing Line show, and she was asking about her thoughts on Israel. And she alluded to calling Israel occupiers and that the occupation needs to stop, etc. And then when pressed about, well, you actually believe that the Israel is an occupation? And then Ocasio-Cortez, Miss Socialist over here, goes,
well, I want to be honest with you. I really don't know about a lot of foreign affairs. So please forgive me. I don't know a lot about foreign affairs.
You don't know a lot about foreign affairs? Then why the fuck are you running for Congress? Why the fuck are you running for Congress, you Puerto Rican slut? Why the fuck are you running for Congress as a socialist when you don't know shit?
I don't really know a lot about, world politics and stuff. I don't really know a lot about that. But, I think Israel is occupation. I don't really know a lot about that.
Fucking socialist slutbag, man. I'm telling you right now, I hope Joe Crowley prevents this dumb socialist from obtaining a congressional seat. All right, because let's be honest, the only reason that she won the primary against Joe Crowley, a 9-time Democratic incumbent, is because she got her Puerto Rican family to all go out and vote in the primary, for Christ's sake. Have you seen that district in New York? It's a Puerto Rican scumhole. And with all due respect, look, I don't like Puerto Ricans. I'm sorry. I do not like Puerto Ricans, and I base this based upon my own personal experience. Every Puerto Rican that I've ever met has been a complete and utter shyster, thief, and a scumbag, okay? And moreover, they're a chameleon race, okay? So whenever they're around white people, they're like, hi, I'm Puerto Rican, and I'm an ethnic minority. I'm Puerto Rican. Whenever they're around a bunch of Mexican people, these Puerto Ricans are all, órale, boricua, no sabes amigo, tatata, boricua, morena, boricua. And then whenever they're around a bunch of black people, it's like, yeah, what's up, man? I'm Puerto Rican, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. I mean, I'm tired of them. I'm tired of them, and on top of that, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm saying this because I'm prejudging, okay? I'm not racist against Puerto Ricans. I'm prejudiced against Puerto Ricans. A big fucking difference. I'm prejudging Puerto Ricans, okay? And the reason I'm prejudging Puerto Rican is because every Puerto Rican I've ever met has encompassed what I'm saying. Puerto Ricans are the laziest pieces of trash that you will ever meet in your life. And like I said, all you got to do is look at the Hurricane Maria post-fiasco. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, look at Google search photos Maria Hurricane Puerto Rico cell phone. Put that in Google. And you know what you're going to find? You're going to find a plethora of pictures of a bunch of fat Puerto Ricans in Puerto Rico after their goddamn 2-bit infrastructure got annihilated by Maria. These stupid fucking Puerto Ricans, they're going out with their cell phones in the air, trying to point it towards a goddamn cell tower, trying to look for a fucking internet connection or a cell phone connection in mass. I mean, you would think, right, like they just got hit up by a goddamn hurricane, you'd get your biggest men, your strongest men, either remove debris, try to rebuild from the goddamn hurricane. No! That's not what happened! Alright? That's not what fucking happened! These Puerto Ricans instead decided that they were going to try to find an internet connection on their cell phone or a cell phone connection, because that's more important than actually going out and helping your own pissing ground of a country clean up after a natural disaster, right? Anyway, look, I want to be honest with you. I don't like Puerto Rico. I don't like the fact that it's connected with America. I think it's a fucking waste. The people on there are a fucking waste. They're nothing but... I'm sorry, man. I mean, every time I've ever met a Puerto Rican, they care more about that shitbag pissing ground of a country, Puerto Rico, than they do about America. And I want to be honest with you. I mean, they haven't even recovered past Maria. They haven't even recovered. And by the way, the reason that they were, so inept and incompetent to help their own citizens after the Hurricane Maria was because they have $55 billion in debts. $55 billion in debts. And yet they didn't even have an electrical grid that could withstand a fucking Category 3 hurricane. I mean, where did all that $55 billion go? Where did all that money go in Puerto Rico? I mean, everybody that lives in Puerto Rico is literally a fat, fucking greasy piece of third world impoverished shit. What happened to the $55 billion? And you know what? A judge recently ruled here, actually ruled today, that Puerto Rico is going to have to pay the bondholders' debt back. All right, Puerto Rico, this ain't a credit card, faggots, all right? You're going to have to pay your fucking debts, all right? You're going to have to pay your debts. $55 billion you owe, you stupid morons. And that's why they were wanting all this charity during Hurricane Maria. That's why you had that stupid, dumb Puerto Rican socialist with the help us, we need help, and all this bullshit, because they're wanting money. They're out of money. They're $55 billion in debt. Where the hell did it go? I'm sorry, I don't like Puerto Ricans. I think they're... Look, I live in a fucking city, 85% Mexican, okay? At least the Mexicans go out and work, all right? They go out and fucking work. They do the dirty work. You know what I mean? They're out there digging ditches. They're fucking putting up drywall. They're fucking putting on roofs. You know what I mean? They're out there doing shit. I don't see one Puerto Rican doing none of that shit. You know what I see Puerto Ricans doing? Trying to do whatever it can to scam, to sneak, to steal. I'm sorry. Every Puerto Rican that I've ever come across, that's how they are. I'm sorry. I'm basing that based upon my own goddamn experiences with Puerto Ricans, and I don't really like them. I mean, they're a parasite, just like somebody said here in the chat room. They're a parasite on the American government, and I wish we wouldn't have anything to do with these people anymore. I wish they just lived in their little pissing ground of a goddamn country and just let themselves wither away in fat third world impoverishment. And then we wonder why, like Puerto Rican trash, like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who doesn't even understand world events when asked about the Israel situation.
I don't really understand world events, but yeah, socialism. I'm Ocasio-Cortez, and I want to give free child care. I want to give free college. I want to give free health care. I want to give free everything because I'm a socialist. Vote for me, Puerto Ricanos. Vote for me because I'll give you everything for free. I will.
I mean, seriously, this is why she was primaried in. That's why she unseated a 9-term Democratic incumbent, because all you have to do is just tell all the fucking minority Puerto Rican pieces of trash that are in her district that, you vote for her, you're going to get free this, free that, free this, free that. Well, they went out there and they voted for this piece of garbage. And on top of that, on top of Ocasio-Cortez admitting that she doesn't know shit from Shinola when it comes to international affairs, Ocasio-Cortez then claims that capitalism, quote, will not always exist. So now she's an anti-capitalist, for Christ's sake. Capitalism will not always exist? How the hell do you know when you don't even know the basis of the Israeli-Palestinian strife, you stupid, dumb, idiot dunce? How did we let a bartender, some slut-bag bartender, actually have a viable shot to become a congresswoman? I mean, it's so fucking sick. This is how stupid we are in America. I'm telling you, this is how stupid we are in America. And let me tell you something. Hey, Ocasio-Cortez, I hope you choke on a cod piece of fish, you stupid, dumb Puerto Rican scumbag. How dare you try to sit here and degrade capitalism when you and your rich bitch fucking wannabe girl from the Bronx ass was basking in capitalism when your stupid father was making all that money when you were living in Westchester, not the Bronx, you stupid, dumb, champagne socialist, buck-toothed, bug-eyed slut bag. Good God, man. I wish somebody gives this broad the Ike Turner treatment, man. I'm not even joking. I mean, how and why Americans are so comfortable allowing this socialist to run for Congress without any kind of retribution is beyond me. I mean, let me tell you something. In America, the environment should be so fucking uncomfortable for any socialist, for any communist to run for any fucking office in this country. They should feel scared. They should feel fucking fear. You want to know why? Because the only good communist is a dead communist. The only good socialist is a dead socialist. Why? Because socialism and communism, I hate to keep repeating this, robs the individual of their own decision making, robs the individual from their own choice. Remember, communism is socialism. Socialism is communism. The basis of both are centralization of power, meaning that the central government makes all the decisions for the individual. The government decides where you work. The government decides how much you eat. The government decides how many kids you have. The government decides how much big of a house you're going to have, how much money you make. The government decides everything under communism and socialism. And if you don't believe me, ask the fucking idiots in Venezuela that voluntarily voted in socialism. Ask Venezuela who voluntarily voted in socialism whether or not socialism worked out for them. Ask them! Ask those Venezuelans if socialism worked out for them. Ask them! Ask them! They're fucking starving to death because of the incompetence of the centralization of their government. Remember, the government in communism or socialism makes every decision for everybody in the state. That's what I'm telling you. Anybody who's advocating socialism or communism, like this Ocasio-Cortez, she knows socialism and communism can't feed the people. They know, Ocasio-Cortez knows that it's political romanticism, and she's just using that rhetoric to galvanize a bunch of morons so that they can vote for her. She knows that none of the social promises can ever come to fruition. She knows this. The only reason she's utilizing this rhetoric is because she wants power. Anybody advocating communism or socialism that are actually trying to run for politics or that are influential in the arts or that are influential in industry, anybody advocating socialism or communism are doing so, especially at those high capacities, are doing so because they want to control people. They want to micromanage people's lives. I'm talking groups of people, masses of people. Anybody who's a communist or socialist or totalitarian freaks, and they want to micromanage everybody's life so that they can recreate society how they see fit. And that goes completely against capitalism, because what does capitalism do? It emphasizes the individual. It puts emphasis on the individual. It puts emphasis on freedom, on choices, on decisions of individuals. In capitalism, you have the choice on whether or not you're going to be an impoverished piece of loser shit, you're going to be middle class, or you're going to be rich. You have the ability, you have the choice, you have the power to carve out your own destiny. But you won't have any choice. You won't have any power under communism or socialism. There is not one communist or socialist model that has ever proven the test of time. And the reason there has never been a communist or socialist model that has stood the test of time, because it's unsustainable. It's unaffordable. Just like Margaret Thatcher said, the problem with socialism is that someday you run out of other people's money. And that's what happened to Europe. Why do you think they're bringing in these wild Yehudis into the European Union, folks? They're running out of money. They're running out of other people's money. So they got to bring in a whole new workforce, because most of these goddamn Europeans, they're all a bunch of docile, socialist, pompous, fucking alcohol drinking, drug taking, oversexed bunch of idiots. And as I stated, you want to get a good glimpse of what socialism was in Europe prior to the influx of the migrant situation, of the migrant crisis? You want to know what Europe was? Take a look at the fucking video, Smack My Bitch Up by Prodigy. I know that sounds silly, but I'm serious. Check out the goddamn video, Smack My Bitch Up by Prodigy. That is socialism in Europe. You wake up in some 2-bit, like, fucking garbage that you're living in, some kind of group home or something. You take a crap, you take a shower, you go out, you drink, you drug, you fuck. That's what socialism was in Europe for the longest time. Well, that has been all put away. You know, it ain't your proverbial Europe anymore. Because why? They allowed the Yehudis to come in. And now that open sexualness that Europe used to pride itself on, they can't be as open sexual anymore. Why? Because the Yehudis said so, and now that the Yehudis are now superseding the importance of actual Europeans, you're being replaced. And why are you Europeans being replaced? Because you're useless socialists. I mean, your socialism and your complacency and your docile state of existence is no longer needed. And that's why they're bringing in a bunch of Yehudis. It's the truth, folks. I'm not joking. I mean, I'm not just saying this to be, like, insulting to Europeans. I mean, this is a plan. I mean, remember, you all, the individuals of Europe, didn't vote in these migrants to come in and take over your countries. You didn't have a choice on whether or not your village was going to get overpopulated by a bunch of wild Yehudis and supersede the natural-born population. You didn't have any choice of anything. The state had the choice. These assholes in Brussels, these bureaucrats, this centralized government body had the choice. And that's why I continue to tell each and every one of you, that's what socialism and communism is. It is the centralization of power. The centralization of power. And when you centralize power, you, whoever you are, whoever's listening to my voice, whoever you think you are not you. You are a subject to the state. You don't get to choose what your occupation is. The state does. You don't get to choose what food you eat. The state does. You don't get to choose what house you live in. The state does. The state is the one that decides what you do in your life. Period. Micromanages everybody's life. And we can't have it. And this Ocasio-Cortez, she should be fucking pistol whipped for fucking coming out here talking garbage about capitalism, man. Seriously, I'm not joking. I'm sick and tired of these fucking communists and socialists out here in the open with no fear whatsoever, bashing capitalism, bashing our country, bashing the American way. These people should be afraid to do that. But unfortunately, what do we have? We got a bunch of pussy-whipped fucking American people that are too scared to do anything, for Christ's sake. And that's why you've got these soy boys, these lesbos, these LGBTQs, these cross-dressers, drag queens, transgenders coming out en masse in Antifa groups, Black Lives Matter groups, all out here agitating everybody. These people should be afraid to do that, folks. They should be afraid to do that, but they're not. And it's America's fault. Because at one time, folks, I guarantee you they wouldn't be doing this shit in the goddamn 50s and 60s. And the only time they were doing it in the 60s was in the late 60s, and it was in San Francisco and Chicago and New York and all the campuses. I mean, I'm telling you this right now, man. We got to make these fucking socialists and communists fear being socialists and communists. And I'm going to be honest with you, folks. I don't think socialism and communists are human. I mean, folks, have you seen this one gab that I posted earlier today showing how leftism is a mental disease? Take a look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4 posts down. It says, "This will be your child if America elects Democrats in 2018. Enough is enough. Leftism is a mental disease. This meme proves it." And take a look. It shows the profile Twitter picture of somebody named Charles whatever from 2014 to 2018. And because Charles Clymer, I guess his name is, because this man in 2014 was writing for the Huffington Post and was a male feminist and founder of Equality for Women, he went from 2014 being a feminist fruit bowl leftist to now in 2018 he has completely transitioned into a tranny. And this is an ex-Army vet. This is a liberal. And I'm telling you, this is the mental disorder of liberalism right here. From 2014, he was a man, ex-Army vet, supposed feminist, writes for the Huffington Post, all this bullshit, to 2018. His name went from Charles to Charlotte. And in his profile, he says, "I'm a Hillary Rotten Clinton communications team person. I'm a writer, proudly queer, Army vet, Texan, pronouns she, her." Jesus. This is liberal lunacy, folks. This is goddamn liberal lunacy. And anybody who follows Democrats, anybody who's down with Democrats, anybody who's down with leftism, you've got a mental disease, man. I don't know how you could be down with this anti-American shit. But you obviously hate this country. You want this country to go down into complete and utter debauchery, oblivion, and that's enough. I've had enough of it. That's why I'm saying, you LGBTQ people, you need to be put back in the closet. Even if we got to bitch slap you back in there, you got to get back in the closet. And this goes for other sexual perversions, straight, homo, lesbo. I don't give a shit, man. You people are going after our children now, and you people are sick fucks. Leave our children alone! You fucking perverts! Leave our children alone! Anyway, let me move on to another subject matter. We're running out of time here. I wanted to definitely talk about Elon Musk because I hate the son of a bitch. I hate how the media has turned this guy into some kind of like mad scientist when he's done nothing, all right? Do you all know that Elon Musk just helped create PayPal? And he wasn't even the crux of helping create it. It was Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel created it. Fucking Elon Musk just got bought out by Peter Thiel, and that's it. The rest is history. Elon Musk is not an engineer. Elon Musk is not a fucking scientist, no matter how much the media propagates this. He is not a fucking scientist, all right? And not to mention, he's not even an American. You know that? This guy's a fucking South African. This guy's from Africa. Get it away. And not to mention, America wasn't even his first country from South Africa. He moved to Canada. So he went from South Africa to Canada to America. This idiot should be deported. He should be audited. I mean, to be honest with you, I think he should be thrown in prison for fraud, because he's a complete fraud. He's taken $5 billion of U.S. tax dollars and has produced absolutely nothing. He's produced nothing. I mean, that stupid, ridiculous Tesla car, how many people are going to have to get into car accidents and die before people realize that this guy really done goofed, all right? That Elon Musk really done goofed, that he really didn't know what the fuck he was doing. He just took our money and decided to make companies out of it, trying to make more capital. I mean, this guy should be fucking in prison for fraud. I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. Well, the reason I bring up Elon Musk is because remember this whole, these Taiwanese kids that were trapped in that cave? And, of course, Musk saw, oh, man, look, the Taiwanese cave thing is in the media. Let me pretend that I've got a kid's submarine and pretend that I can give it to these kids so I can put my name in the media so I can try to sell more of these goddamn cars that keep putting people in the graves. Come on, man. Yeah, anyway, during the time in which these, kids were trapped in that cave, these Taiwanese kids were trapped, during that time, Elon Musk claimed that he had some kind of a kid submarine that he was supposedly going to allow the Thai government or the rescuers to use in an attempt to help these kids out of the cave. And, throughout the whole ordeal, Elon Musk continued to shove his goddamn mug on the television. He continued to insist that he's got this kid submarine and that he could save the day. He was purely using this as a marketing ploy. Anybody with any common sense knows this. Well, one of the Thai kid rescuers, some British cave expert who helped get these kids out of that trapped cave, claimed that, the Musk submarine was a pure PR stunt. He admitted that in an interview. He also said that the submarine was a prototype, had absolutely no chance of working, and told Elon Musk to shove his submarine up his ass. All right? Literally, that's what he said. He called Elon Musk a fraud, and that this little stupid kid submarine would never work. It had no chance of working, etc. And you know what Musk did? Instead of ignoring it, instead of worrying about getting a goddamn Tesla car that fucking drives without crashing people to their fucking death, instead of doing that, he decides to get on his Twitter and call this British cave expert who helped get these kids out of that Taiwanese cave. He called this guy who saved these children's lives a pedo. I'm not joking. Elon Musk calls one of these guys who saved these Thai kids out of that cave, a British cave expert. He goes on Twitter and calls this guy a pedo because, you criticized my little kid submarine. My little stupid dumb ego is bruised. I gotta go out and fucking slander you and call you a pedo because you made fun of me, Elon Musk. What a fucking scumbag. Calls the guy a pedo. Then once Elon Musk takes a little heat about calling this guy a pedo, he doubles down on it. He doubles down on the pedo tweet by tweeting, "Bet you $1 it's true." Bet you $1 it's true. Now look, this British cave diver has come out and said, look, I'm thinking about suing Elon Musk's ass, and he should. He should. But the problem is, if he gets a couple of $1 million off Elon Musk for this slander and libelous bullshit that Elon Musk tweeted, is that coming out of the $5 billion that the United States taxpayer funded fucking Elon Musk, for Christ's sake? I fucking hate this guy, man. I swear to God, Elon, you better not come to Texas, man. I'm not even joking around. If I find out that you're anywhere in Texas, I'm going to try to go wherever you're at just so I can break your fucking nose. I'm not even joking around. All right? I'm not joking. I want to break that fucking South African nose you got going on over there because you're a fucking fraud. You're a fucking fraud and you're a fucking immigrant. How dare Obama give you $5 billion for sucking whose mulatto cock? How dare he, for Christ's sake, man? You're a fucking fraud, Elon Musk, and you need to be put in fucking prison or at the very least deported out of my fucking country. Fuck you, Elon Musk. Fuck you and these stupid minions that you've got believing that you're some kind of a fucking scientist or some shit. Fuck you! Calling some fucking guy who saved children out of a cave a pedo guy because he criticizes his stupid bullshit machine. What a fucking asshole, man. I really don't like Elon Musk. I'm not even joking. If he comes to Texas, Austin, San Antonio, I'll drive wherever the fuck he's at. And I'll be like, hey, Elon, I'm going to pretend I like him. Hey, Elon Musk, how you doing? Boom! Right in his fucking nose! Fucking, right in your fucking nose! Get yourself a new one, Elon Musk! Huh? Why don't you build the new fucking honker in your goddamn Tesla laboratory, you fucking faggot! fucking hate Elon Musk. I'm not even joking. He makes me sick. He's a big fucking con artist. He's a phony. He's a fraud. Fucking asshole. Anyway, look. We got about fucking 10 minutes left in this fucking broadcast. Give me my fucking tea. I'm going to go ahead and read some Drudge headlines since we got about 10 minutes left in the broadcast. And look, people are out here, they're bitching and moaning on Gab that, oh, Elon Musk is great, he's a great scientist. Shut the fuck up. Shut up! Jesus Christ, man. Anyway, let me move on here, all right? Let's take a look at some headlines. Of course, the top headlines, I don't understand why even Drudge is falling for this bullshit that Putin dominates. I don't see where Putin dominated anything. Nothing happened. I mean, the American president didn't capitulate nothing to Russia. Nothing happened. It was a big nothing burger of a summit. They just were trying to mend fences to prevent any kind of bad blood from continuing to happen. I mean, Jesus Christ, these fucking people, man. The hatred for Trump is just gone way out of proportion. Way out of proportion. I mean, look at the Daily Mirror. Putin's poodle. Open treason. I mean, there was no deal made with Russia, you fucking faggots. There was nothing. Nothing. There was no capitulation. There was no deals made. I mean, this fucking media sucks. And folks, that's why I keep telling you, we have to support independent media. I mean, we got to do it. All right? I mean, we've got to support independent media because if we don't, the only thing that we're going to know is truth as what these assholes in the mainstream media try to carve in narrative as truth. They're trying to shape our narratives, and we can't allow them to do it, man. We just can't allow them to do it whatsoever. And that's why, folks, you know, I mean, any way you can support local or your independent media, do so, man. Do so. That's why, you know, I'm trying to bring out merch, you know, the autograph that I've got for sale. Also, folks, if many of you guys that are in the crypto game, because yours truly, you know, gives some pretty good prognostications on the crypto game, make sure to check out the cryptocurrency wishing well on Ghost.Report, all right? All right, Ghost.Report. I'm not joking. I mean, we got some very generous folks that are coming out and putting crypto into the cryptocurrency wishing well. I want to say what's going on to Bash, who, you know, put about $60 in Ethereum. I mean, anybody else who's donated to the cryptocurrency wishing well, by all means, we've gotten some people who have been donating a lot of quantum lately. As recently as this morning, I got 2 quantum from somebody who is throwing into the cryptocurrency wishing well. And I want to be honest with you, folks, that helps a tremendous amount because it incentivizes yours truly to come out and give it all I got every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and give you the straight political dope. You know what I mean? That's what you get here. You get economics, true business news, and the straight political dope, baby. You understand? Remember, I do this show for 3 hours a day. I take a good 3 to 4 hours to prepare. So, you know, however you can support the show, whether you're purchasing some merch, throwing into the cryptocurrency wishing well, I mean, we have to support, man. If we don't support, then the mainstream media, all right? The mainstream media is going to be our only alternative to any kind of news source or information. All right? All right? I mean, I'm not even kidding around. So once again, I want to remind everybody. That, you know, without independent media, we would be subjected to nothing but this bullshit mainstream media, man. I'm just saying, man. We got to support. All right, we got to support. Anyway, let me move on to the next headline in the DrudgeReport.com here. You want to follow along? One I want to get to is this one I'm seeing here. Lawsuit arising from Bill Maher's use of the N-word. What the hell does this mean? I got to hear this. This is off of TV Week. A lawsuit filed in March is moving forward after a Los Angeles Superior Court judge ruled that Shantaria Anthony, who is suing the LA-based news site ATTN and its top executive, is likely to prevail on her discrimination and retaliation claims, according to the Hollywood Reporter. Anthony is alleging that she was fired from her job as an editor with ATTN after she took actions in response to Bill Maher's use of the N-word on his HBO show. The report notes that Maher is an investor in ATTN, along with Apple Music, Jimmy Iovine, and Ryan Seacrest. What did I tell you about Jimmy Iovine? Remember, I've talked about Jimmy Iovine before. This is the guy who brought gangster rap to suburban America. He's the guy who distributed the fucking Chronic album and the Doggy-Style album. He's what brought gangster rap to your neighborhood. Anyway, let me continue reading. According to the complaint, after Maher referred himself as a house nigger on June 2nd, 2017 episode of Real Time with Bill Maher, Anthony organized her African-American co-workers in response to the racial slur. Here we go. One of these busybodies, like, man, I'm going to organize all the black people at ATTN, baby. We going to stand in solidarity, baby. You know what, Bill Maher, even though you an investor, you don't be saying the nigger word, man. You don't be saying the word nigger. Are you kidding me? I mean, hey, it's good to see the left eat itself, you know? It's good to see the left eat itself, all right? I wonder if he's really going to use the term nigger in reference to black people after this particular little suing event, huh? You know, I'm going to be honest. Bill Maher has been pretty racially insensitive in many of his stand-ups. I remember when he... and this was a pretty good stand-up show. I mean, listen, this is before Bill Maher turned into a complete socialist scumbag for the ratings. But he did a comedy special called Victory Begins at Home, which I think is a great HBO special. If you have not watched it, I mean, it's fucking funny. I mean, before he turned into a socialist scumbag, it was fucking funny. And one of the things that he did say was that George Bush, all he does is take a photo op, and, you know, that's all he does. And that's the definition of George W. Bush's presidency. And in one joke, he referred to George W. Bush like, you know, that's all he does. He just takes photo ops. He stands by a sequoia tree smiling and takes a photo op, and that's the environmental policy. There's a black kid sitting on my lap, you know. That's what George Bush was saying. I'm reading to a black kid. Am I freaking out? No. And then in that bit, Bill Maher says, am I like, get that tar baby off of me? No. And that's the race policy. So, I mean, you know, Bill Maher has utilized the word coon and tar baby and nigger and all these racist words more than an actual racist would. And it's only until now that the leftists have taken offense to this shit. It's only until now? Oh, my God. You know, I don't even know what else to say. I have no idea what else to say, man. Oh, Jesus Christ, man. What else do we have here? We've got... Pat Buchanan, worst ever cable news. Hold on, let me look at this. Let me see this headline here. Trump calls off Cold War II. Pat Buchanan. Now, I'm glad that Pat Buchanan is talking some sense to people here. I got to read this fucking article because Pat Buchanan I mean, you're talking about a real American, Pat Buchanan, all right? You're talking about real Americana, Pat Buchanan. You're talking about conservatism, Pat fucking Buchanan, all right? Now, this is a Pat Buchanan article off of WorldNet Daily. Trump calls off World War II. Pat Buchanan responds to John Brennan's vitriol with Patrick Henry quote, okay? This was written 3 hours ago, so you're listening to it, so let's read a little bit of it. Pat Buchanan's piece. Beginning his joint press conference with Vladimir Putin, President Trump declared that the U.S. relations with Russia have never been worse. He then added poignantly that he just changed that about 4 hours ago. It certainly did. With his remarks in Helsinki and at the NATO summit in Brussels, Trump has signaled a historic shift in U.S. foreign policy that may determine the future of this nation and the fate of his presidency. He has rejected the fundamental premise of American foreign policy since the end of the Cold War and blamed our wretched relations with Russia not on Vladimir Putin, but squarely on the U.S. establishment. In a tweet prior to the meeting, Trump indicated the elites of both parties, our relationship with Russia has never been worse thanks to many years of U.S. foolishness and stupidity, and now the rich hunt. Trump thereby repudiated the records and the agendas of the neocons and their liberal interventionist allies, as well as the archipelago of war party think tanks beavering away inside the Beltway. Look back over the week from Brussels to Britain to Helsinki. Trump's message has been clear, consistent, and startling. NATO is obsolete. European allies have freeloaded off the U.S. defense while rolling up huge trade surpluses at our expense. Those days are over. Europeans are going to stop stealing our markets and start paying for their own defense. And there will be no more Cold War II. We are not going to let Putin's annexation of Crimea or aid of pro-Russian rebels in Ukraine prevent us from working on a reapproachment and a partnership with him, Trump is saying. We are going to negotiate arms treaties and talk out our differences as Ronald Reagan did with Mikhail Gorbachev. Helsinki showed that Trump meant what he said when he declared repeatedly, peace with Russia is a good thing, not a bad thing. On Syria, Trump indicated that he and Putin are working with Benjamin Netanyahu, who wants all Iranian forces and Iranian-backed militias kept far away from the Golan Heights. As for U.S. troops in Syria, says Trump, they will be coming out after ISIS is crushed, and we are 98% there. That is another underlying message here. America is coming home from foreign wars and will be shedding foreign commitments. Both before and after the Trump-Putin meeting, the cable news coverage was as hostile and as hateful toward the president as anything this writer has ever seen. The media may not be the enemy of the people, Trump says they are, but many are implacable enemies of this president. Sorry, I got sidetracked with somebody trying to fucking message me. Some wanted Trump to emulate Nikita Khrushchev, who blew up the Paris summit in May of 1960 over a failed U.S. intelligence operation. The U-2 spy plane shot down over the Urals just weeks earlier. Khrushchev had demanded that Ike apologize. Ike refused, and Khrushchev exploded. Some media seemed to be hoping for such a confrontation. When Trump spoke of the foolishness and stupidity of the U.S. foreign policy establishment that contributed to this era of animosity in U.S.-Russia relations, what might have he had in mind? Was it the U.S. proactively moving NATO into Russia's front yard after the collapse of USSR? Was it the U.S. invasion of Iraq to strip Saddam Hussein of weapons of mass destruction he did not have that plunged us into an endless wars in the Middle East? Was it the support of Syrian rebels determined to oust Bashar al-Assad, leading to ISIS intervention and a 7-year civil war with 500,000 dead? A war which Putin eventually entered to save his Syrian ally? Was it George W. Bush abrogation of Richard Nixon's ABM treaty, anti-ballistic missile treaty, and the drive for a missile defense that caused Putin to break out of the Reagan International Nuclear, the INF treaty, whatever the fuck it's called, and started deploying cruise missiles to counter it? Was it the U.S. complicity in Kiev and the coup that ousted the elected pro-Russian regime that caused Putin to seize Crimea and to hold Russia's Black Sea naval base at Sevastopol? Many Putin actions we condemned were reactions to what we did. Russia annexed Crimea bloodlessly. But did the U.S. bomb Serbia for 78 days to force Belgrade to surrender her cradle province of Kosovo? How many more moral than what Putin did in Crimea? How was that more moral than what Putin did in Crimea? If Russian military intelligence hacked into the emails of the DNC exposing how they stuck it to Bernie Sanders, Trump said he did not collude in it. Is there, after 2 years, any proof that he did? Trump insists Russian meddling had no effect on the outcome in the 2016 elections, and he is not going to allow the media obsession with Russiagate to interfere with the establishing better relations. Excuse me if I'm stuttering here. I've got people in the chat room all hollering and hooping in private message over here. Former CIA Director John Brennan rages that Donald Trump's press conference performance in Helsinki was treasonous. He is wholly in the pocket of Putin. Republican patriots, where are you? Well, as Patrick Henry said long ago, if this be treason, make the most of it. Wow. Good God. That was Pat Buchanan. That was Pat Buchanan laying down the law on the fucking establishment. Very good points by Pat Buchanan. That the aggressions from Russia and Vladimir Putin were mere reactions to policies that were being initiated by administrations of past. And as I stated, folks, I mean, what Trump did today in the Trump-Putin summit was nothing more than mend fences. There was no signature, there was no commitments, there was no capitulation, nothing. What the media is doing right now is what it likes to do, hyper-sensationalize with nothing but yellow journalism. And that's why, once again, I hate to keep reinforcing this issue, but everybody has to support independent media. Without independent media, we would be forced to just accept whatever it was these talking heads in the mainstream media told us. We would never be able to get the truth. We would never be able to get facts. We would just be at the whim of these talking heads. The CNNs, the Acostas, the Anderson Cooper, which is a fucking CIA agent, the Rachel Maddows and these people. We would be forced to look to these people for our news and information. That's why supporting independent media is so fucking important. It's majorly important. Anyway, folks, that's about it. I'm going to go ahead and close down the show here. I definitely want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. Once again, folks, add to your bookmarks, add to your favorites, the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast, and it is Ghost.Report, all right? That's what you type in your browser and add it to your favorites, add it to your bookmarks, Ghost.Report. And moreover, folks, if you have not done so, please follow me on Gab. All right, Gab is the last bastion of freedom of speech on the internet today. So if you don't have a free Gab account, well, get one, baby. Get a Gab account and follow me on there under the name Politics Ghost. All right, all one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost is the name to follow. And I want to reiterate, and I want to remind everybody out there that's listening, this will be the last week that we are selling autographs for the Ghost autograph, folks. Once again, on the front of the autograph, you've got the 2018 avatar of yours truly. You've got my signature, actual signature, signed with a gold marker. Below that, you have Give Me Capitalism or Give Me Death. And on the back, you've got True Capitalist Radio at Ghost.Report with a microphone icon. And, folks, that's not all. You also get a bottle cap of yours truly. And I guarantee you that I popped that bottle cap and drank that beer, baby. You're getting all these relics for an unbelievable price, free shipping. So if you want yourself an autograph, by God, go to my Gab account right now and go to the post that states how to purchase a Ghost autograph. Go to the post that says how to purchase a Ghost autograph and click the video link. Click the video link and listen to the instructions, baby, all right? All right, gab.ai/tv/watch/18436. Click on that link, listen to the video instructions, and find out how you can get yours truly autograph, especially for the price. You can't beat it, man. You can't beat it. And aside from your purchase, not only will you be supporting the True Capitalist Radio broadcast, you'll be supporting Gab as well, folks, okay? Because it's $16. That's it for the autograph. And $4 of that goes, $4 of that goes to the Gab for a transaction fee. So aside from supporting the broadcast, you'll also be supporting an independent social media in Gab. So you're killing like 80 birds with one stone, baby. You're killing like 80 birds with one stone. So please, by all means, support the broadcast. Consider hooking it up with a autograph. And if you can't do that, that's fine. Take a look at the cryptocurrency wishing well, okay? And consider, making, somewhat of a contribution. A little something for the effort, baby. I give you 3 hours, no commercials, all right? 3 hours, no commercials, baby. And by the way, I like how many autographs I've sold. I like how I'm getting a lot of donations from the cryptocurrency wishing well. If this keeps up, baby, we can expand this from 3 days a week back to 5 days a week. But remember, man, the reason I did 5 days a week when Blog Talk Radio was around was because they were paying me about $4,000 a month. I don't need $4,000 a month, but I definitely need, a little bit of an incentive. You know what I mean? So I can not only do the broadcast, but maintain whatever I do in my real life, my business life, my brick mortar businesses, etc. So if you all are interested, by all means, support the show any way you can. I appreciate it. Once again, hook it up with an autograph or contribute a little bit to the cryptocurrency wishing well. And everybody who's contributed to the wishing well, may all your wishes come true. May all your wishes come true. Not to mention you'll be supporting the broadcast, all right? Anyway, I'm getting the hell out of here. I will be here on Wednesday, all right? All right, this is episode number 592. This is July 16, 2018. I hope everybody appreciated the show here. I will be back Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Please be here, to say the least. All right? I'm here live. And not to mention, if you've missed the broadcast, I have all the archives at Ghost.Report. So make sure to check it out, all right? Anyway, thank you all for listening in to me. I really appreciate it. No matter if you love me, no matter if you hate me, I appreciate you listening, baby. I really do. Anyway, I'm getting the hell out of here. Long live the capitalist army, and death to feminism, death to socialism, and death to communism. I'm out of here. You better be here 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Texas goddamn time. You better be here. You better be chilling with us live. You better be chilling with us live and spread this show link around like wildfire, man. Spread this show link around like wildfire. If you're listening to the sound of my voice, you're listening to the political internet underground. You're listening to the underground. So spread it. Spread it everywhere. Go to the forums. Go to the blog posts. Go to the chat rooms. Go everywhere and spread this show link around like wildfire, because we are the underground. We are the underground. We are the underground.
32, what do you think about public education?
And there you have it, folks. That was True Capitalist Radio, episode number 592. Relaying here on the Capitalist King Network. And I am your relay hoster, Being King. Really want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. And yes, just need to make this very quick and say this very publicly. There is no first hour during this relay broadcast. And more than reason why is that I came back from my Pittsburgh trip today. So, of course, I had to come back right when the show started. So, unfortunately, and it took like about an hour to get back from the airport to my place. So, of course, there was no first hour. Of course, there is a way to listen to the first hour. Just go to the Ghost.Report site and click on the archive. And that's the only way you can listen to the first hour. I got the second hour during the start of the markets, so that's actually pretty good. And all the way through the show. But of course, the crypto hour and anything that's actually cut from that first hour, pretty much is from the way you can actually expect and just listening in on the Ghost.Report archives. So go ahead and you can do that if you want to listen to the first hour. Like I said, unfortunately, I only caught up to the second hour up and above, so we only got to the markets throughout the entirety of the show. So hopefully everybody got a good time spent and enjoyed tonight's show. Alrighty, guys. Well, I'm going to give some very quick shout outs here for the people here. Before I do, let me say thank you to everybody for listening in. And if you're a new listener, why not subscribe, as I do to TCR shows every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. 6:30 p.m. Central is the time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. It will be for everybody who lives in the East. And of course, if you live in the West, it should be 4:30 p.m. Pacific. So whatever time zone you live in, but always remember 6:30 p.m. Central is the time zone. And if you click that subscribe and click that bell as well, you'll be notified when the next TCR show goes live. And we do them live. Unfortunately, unlike today, sometimes it goes be like that, but shouldn't be going on. But if there is some vacations going on, just make sure to really if you're in TC or Discord chat, I mostly just announce that to everybody, and hopefully if anybody gets that, just please spread that around for everybody to know. That's the only way that people will know when things goes around and all. But yes, so anyways, and for those who really want to subscribe to or follow Ghost, you can do that over his Gab account. His Gab account is Politics Ghost. If you do follow him, a lot of interesting happens, and I really do say just make sure to like and follow and repost any stuff he does, and that will really help him out for more. So do that as you will. But if you subscribe, then you enter to the TCR Discord chat, and the only way to enter it is by subscribing him. And once you do, just direct message him through his private messages. You just send in your Discord link to him. He'll will reply and invite you to the TCR Discord chat. And then once you accept it, then you're pretty much in it. Just make sure to actually keep an eye on it once you receive it. It's a one-time only use, and it's also timed. So make sure to not miss and be part of the TCR community. Alright, guys, let me get some shout outs here right now. So if you want to shout out, all you have to do is just say something in the chat room or be in participant list, whatever, and I'll just scroll up to see if I missed anybody. And yes, I will say any special ones here for anyone recently who subscribed, but I see nobody subscribed, nobody left tips. So we are now going to head on and just go ahead and do some shout outs. So what's going on to Aaron 2 Mom? It's going to it's Megan 69. What's going to Flaming Shy Man? Rick Hoover, what's going on? Omega Aurelius, Rod Livingstone, Mr. Sideswipe Prime, there is no nuclear annihilation without creation. Randy Lufferty, what's going on? Mageland, hey Mageland, what's going on? Who else we have here? Once again, I'm taking some YouTube shoutouts. Liquid Schwartz, wow, I've not seen you in a long time. What's going on to Liquid Schwartz? Who else we have here? I'm looking up here. What's going on to Arcturus? Sumo Minerva Mink. What's going on to Patriot 4572? Guy. What's going on to Commodore Crusher 9000 TM Picture? Piranha PJP. Who else we have here? I'm looking up here. Hey, what's going on to the over the people or the TCR Discord chat? I can see you. Corporal Candawink. What's going on to CK Smith 08? Who else we have here? Aaron Tumon, Peter, CK Smith 08, Peppo Dropo or Dropled. What's going on to Shlomo Schickerberg? Let's see what we have here. Power Meadow Squid Kid and 63C. What's going on to you, man? And what's going on to Rick Ron Livingstone? Once again. Oh no, is it still going? I don't think it is. Nope, they just disconnected here. So yeah, that's yep, that's everybody I can actually name from. So once again, if I miss your shout out name, shout outs to everybody on the stream. Thank you for watching and thank you for participating on this relay stream. And of course, thank you to everybody who listened to the archive. I do appreciate you listening to the relay stream. But as always, I do apologize that I have not caught the first hour. Just came back from a trip over the weekend, and of course, unfortunately, you know, the first hour I had to came in, and then you know, it's just life's just complicated. But of course, you know, had a good time, had a good trip and all, and had a very enjoyment and all. And now I'm just gonna just end the stream, gonna rest for the rest of the night, and really that's just about it. But I'll be back this Wednesday for the Wednesday broadcast of 592 or 593, which is gonna be the next broadcast. But if you're listening to the archives, then I do say I'll see you guys on the next TCR broadcast right here on the Capitalist King Network. I am your relay host, your being King. Once again, gonna say good night to everybody. Buenas noches. Hasta la bye-bye. And I'll see you guys next time. So good night, everybody. Thanks again for listening and watching. And I'll see you guys next time on the next stream right here at the Capitalist King Network. So good night, everybody. Sayonara. And later on, guys. Later, everybody. See you guys on the next stream. And good night to all. Later.